So I know you've been like really into all this stuff about building businesses and side hustles
Yeah.
and I think this is going to be right up your alley.
Oh, cool.
We're going to do a deep dive today into this whole world of one-person SaaS empires.
Soft empires.
And what's really interesting is how many of them are being built without any coding at all.
What?
Yeah, like no code.
Wow, no code SaaS empires.
I know, right? I came across this podcast narration that was just fascinating. It really goes into the whole thing.
Okay, yeah.
Like how these empires are built, who's building them, what tools they're using, the whole 9 yards.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I thought so too. And I think for this deep dive, what we should really focus on is, okay, what are the key takeaways here? Like, what are the possibilities for you?
Like what can we actually do with this information?
Yeah, exactly. Like, how can we take these insights and make them actionable?
I like that. Actionable insights.
So one of the things that really struck me is this idea that, building software used to be like this huge undertaking. Oh, you needed like a whole team of developers, tons of money, and it just seemed so out of reach.
It was like this big, scary technical thing.
Exactly. But now individuals are doing it themselves without writing a single line of code.
That's wild.
I know, right? It's like this whole shift away from needing to be like a coding wizard to just focusing on solving specific problems.
Yeah, and using tools that anyone can understand.
And that's where this whole no-code revolution comes in.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that term.
I know it sounds a little, I don't know, buzzwordy maybe.
Yeah.
But when you actually see what these platforms can do,
Yeah.
it's pretty mind-blowing.
Okay, so what are these platforms? What are we talking about?
Well, the narration called them digital Lego blocks.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, me too. It's like a perfect analogy because instead of writing code, you're basically snapping together these pre-built features.
Oh.
So like the narration mentioned a bunch of these platforms like Bubble, Glide, Software, Tally, Notion, Airtable, Zapier even.
Wow, so there's a lot out there.
There is, and they're all a little bit different.
Right.
But the core idea is this, like drag and drop, connect,
That's easy.
Super easy. And you can build some pretty sophisticated stuff like full-blown apps.
Really?
Yeah, without ever having to touch the code.
So it's all visual, like you're designing how it looks and how it works.
Exactly. You're working with interfaces, managing data, creating user interactions.
Wow, that's amazing.
And so this brings us to this whole micro SaaS model.
Okay, what's that?
So the narration had some really good examples. Like think about, I don't know, a local gym. They need a way for members to book classes.
Right.
Or a freelancer who wants a system to manage their clients.
Yeah.
Or someone just trying to plan their meals for the week.
Okay.
These are all specific needs, right?
Yeah, very specific.
And they might not need a massive, complex software solution.
Right.
But they need something.
Yeah, I get it.
And that's where these micro SaaS apps come in. They're targeted, they're efficient, and they can be built really quickly with these no-code tools.
So it's like finding a niche and filling it.
Exactly. And the potential is huge because even if you have, let's say, 100 users.
100 users.
And they're each paying you $10 a month.
Yeah.
That's $1,000 a month.
Right.
Just from that one app.
All right.
And the narration talked about people building multiple apps like this and generating 6-figure incomes.
So it's not about hitting it big with one app.
No, it's about building a portfolio.
A portfolio of smaller apps, each solving a specific problem.
Exactly. And what I thought was really interesting is that a lot of these people building these apps, they don't come from a tech background at all.
Really? Like, who are they?
Like the narration mentioned teachers, marketers, designers, people who saw a problem in their own field.
That's so cool.
And they just decided to solve it.
Without knowing how to code. That's amazing.
Yeah, using these no-code tools.
So anyone can do it, basically.
It seems like the barriers to entry are so much lower now.
That's inspiring.
And the narration had some really cool success stories.
Okay, like what?
So there's this website builder called Card.
Card, okay.
And it's run by just one person, but it's become this huge business.
Wow.
Because it lets people create these simple, beautiful landing pages, newsletters, portfolios.
That's useful.
Right. And it's super easy to use.
Yeah, I can see why it's so popular.
And the narration actually had this formula. They said, niche plus useful plus simple equals profitable.
I like that. It's so true.
And then there was this other story about a social media mock-up tool that was built for influencers.
Yeah.
And the guy who built it, he did it in like 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Wow.
Using no code, and he's making like $3,000 a month from it.
That's incredible. In just 2 weeks.
And no investors, no stress.
Wow, that's a whole different way of building a business.
Right. It's not like the traditional startup grind. It's more like, solve a problem, create a solution, keep it simple, and make money.
I love that approach.
So I don't know, are you getting any ideas?
I'm definitely thinking.
Because the narration really emphasized this, like overcoming that mental barrier.
What do you mean?
Like sometimes we think, oh, my idea's not big enough or it's not complex enough.
Yeah, I did too.
But these examples show that simple, useful solutions can be incredibly successful.
Right. It's about solving a real problem for people.
Exactly. So as you're listening to this, think about those moments where you've said,
Okay.
like, I wish there was a tool for this.
Oh, yeah, I do that all the time.
We all do, right?
Yeah.
And that's where the magic happens. Those are the seeds of potential micro-SaaS products.
Okay, so what do I do, like, if I have an idea?
Well, the narration gave a pretty clear roadmap. They said,
Right.
first, identify the problem, make sure it's a real problem that other people have too.
Okay.
Then build a basic version of your solution, a minimum viable product, they called it.
Using no code, right?
Yeah, using no-code tools.
Okay.
Get it out there, share it with people, get feedback, and
Right.
then iterate, improve it based on that feedback.
Right.
And then eventually you can start automating things.
Okay, so it's a process. It's not like overnight success.
No, but it's a real opportunity, and people are doing it right now. Like
Yeah.
the narration mentioned people making anywhere from $500 a month
Wow.
to $50,000 a month.
50,000. That's incredible.
Using this model and without needing to learn how to code.
So it's really accessible.
It really is. So if you've got an idea brewing, the narration really recommended checking out platforms like Bubble, which is great for more complex apps,
Okay.
or Glide, which is really good for building mobile apps quickly.
Okay.
And they said, like, now is the time. This is the solo founder era.
It feels like it, right? Like there's this whole new wave of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and they're using these no-code tools to build businesses, solve problems, make money.
So what's the key takeaway here? Like, what should people be thinking about?
I think the biggest thing is that building a SaaS business is no longer this impossible dream.
Right. It's actually achievable.
Exactly. The tools are there, the knowledge is there, the opportunity is there.
And the barrier to entry is so much lower than it used to be.
Exactly. And the narration really hammered this point home. Like the biggest obstacle for most people is just getting started.
It's that initial hurdle, that fear of the unknown.
Exactly. But once you jump in, you realize it's not as scary as you thought.
And the possibilities are endless.
So here's a final thought for you.
Okay, I'm listening.
Think about something that frustrates you on a regular basis, like something that you wish there was a better solution for.
Yeah.
Or maybe you see a need in your community, something that's not being addressed.
Yeah.
Could you be the one to build that solution? Could you use these no-code tools to create something that would make a real difference?
Wow, that's a powerful question.
Right. Maybe you're sitting on the next big Microsoft empire and you don't even know it.
I think you're right. I think there's something to that.
So what are you waiting for? Get out there and start building.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
That's the spirit. I knew you'd be into this.
Thanks for sharing this with me.
Anytime. I'm excited to see what you come up with.
Me too. Me too. This is going to be fun.
I think so too.
All right, let's get to work.
Let's do it.
I'm excited.
Me too.
This is going to be awesome.
Awesome.
I can feel it.
I can too.